Welcome guys to my first submission to the NYX Face Awards 2017. My character is a duality. She presides over the cycle of life and death. She is the goddess of harvest as well as the queen of the underworld. Her name, Persephone. As with any other project that I do, I always start out by mapping the design. For this one, I used the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light, tracing out the areas where I will place the darkest color, and in this case, the deepest red. You'll also notice that I spent time tracing and retracing some areas, and that's because when I practiced, I had practiced on myself, and the proportions are way different than on my body versus on my model. And so for those areas where I needed some adjustments, I had used the NYX Be Gone Makeup Remover Wipes. In the first phase of our project, I used mostly water-activated body paints along with the NYX Vivid Brights colored liners. Before we proceed, I just want to put it out there that my model is fully covered. Now we move on to painting the more vibrant side of our queen. So for this part, guys, I want you to concentrate more on the techniques that I'm using rather than drive yourself crazy with the absolute placement of the colors, because like I said, everybody's body is different. If you were to do this on yourself or on a model, the proportions would be way off, so you will still need to make adjustments. Instead, focus on the reasons why we're placing the darkest colors, where we're placing them, and the highlights as well. The principle is very easy. It's like highlighting and contouring in the face. You want to place your darkest colors in the contours of the body and the highlights in the parts where you want to bring out. Like in this video, you will notice that I placed the darkest red where the shoulder curves into the arm, where the lower chest area comes up into the clavicle, and where the back area meets the front. Let's zoom in, shall we? And zoom in we shall. Wow, too many zooms in one sentence. I added one more, so okay. Now we're all zoomed in. I swear guys, that was the last one. So we are now up and close, and I wanted to slow it down so you guys can see what I'm exactly doing. I'm merely placing two colors right next to each other. It does not have to go from lightest to darkest or darkest to lightest. You could even put two mid-tone colors right next to each other. It doesn't matter. I feel like with these types of designs, the more random you are, the more organic the final result will come out. And so after placing the colors, I merely blend some parts of it with a fluffy brush, and some parts of it I leave sharp. We continue the same process on her other arm, and you can see I've already placed two colors right next to each other, and here I'm blending it away so there's no harsh lines. But you know, go with what your gut tells you, with what you feel, and if you make a mistake, there's always makeup wipes. Because I wanted the colors to pop, I used the NYX SFX cream colors in yellow, white, and red to intensify the contours and the highlights that I placed. And because I like to be a little extra, I layered on top of it to make it pop even more the NYX Primal colors in hot yellow, hot pink, and hot fuchsia. Of course, we can't forget to pop the highlights as well. So for this, I used the NYX SFX cream color in Blanc because it just sounds fancier than saying white, and the Prismatic Shadow in Frostbite. Moving on to my favorite part of any project, and that is the glitterization of the paint job. I just made those two words up, guys, sorry. But for this, I used the NYX Dewy Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray and the NYX Face and Body Glitter in number 7. So first, what I do is I spray the setting spray onto the body, use maybe 1 or 2 mists, and then I blow the glitter onto it just using any flat surface. Paper will do, or maybe the cap of the SFX cream color also. That will work. To start, I grabbed the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light and sketched out where the bones would be. So there's two ways that you could do this. You could either draw the bone first or the negative space first. I chose to draw the negative space because I knew I was going to be putting in some latex and some tissue to mimic kind of like flesh oozing out. For this part, I outlined the negative space with black water activated body paint and then placed some NYX SFX color cream over it so I can blend it out. This part does not need to be neat because we will cover it up, so don't waste your time making it all perfect. Next, I placed some green and some black over top of that negative space and we're all ready. Next part, I grabbed 1/2 of a sponge and then dipped it in some latex and stippled it on that negative space that we painted earlier. The more random you are with your stipples, the better. Now grabbing a piece of tissue, there are usually 2 plies, so peel away 1 layer so you have the 1 ply. Next step is to peel away the corners because we don't want any sharp edges to it. So what I do is I tear away little pieces and then put them over the latex that we did, and then we repeat the process. While waiting for our latex tissue combo to dry, I'm putting in some white water activated paint over the part where the bones will be. Taking some white SFX cream color, I'm putting it over top of the body paint to mimic the highlights of the bone. To put in some detail, I grabbed the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette and I basically used most of the bottom row to achieve this. Next, I took the NYX Epic Ink Liner onto the back of my hand, squeezed out the actual ink, and used a detailer brush to add some very fine black contrast onto our bone detail. The same exact technique and products were used for the radius and ulna, which are the forearm bones. So I used the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light to trace it out, a white water activated body paint, some SFX color cream in white over top to bring out the highlights, and the NYX Highlight and Contour palette to put in some detail and some shading. Same goes for the skeleton hand manicure that I gave my model. So the only difference is since it's such a smaller surface area, the details are much finer, so you kind of have to be very delicate with it. For the background, I just used a black water activated body paint. To start off the face, I used a generous amount of the NYX Angel Veil all around. I then again take the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light to sketch out my design. It's mostly to hollow out the cheekbones and the teeth and the chin part, just so I know where to start and stop my colors. For the face color, I went again with a combination of the SFX color cream in white and the prismatic shadow in Frostbite to give it that dewy finish. The only difference is I added in a wavy glow highlighter to it just to make it pop even more. I applied the highlighter and cream combo to the face using a brush, and then I later switched on to the NYX Precision Sponge just to make everything nice and smooth. To make sure that nothing moves, I set the face with the NYX SFX Set Powder. For the brows, I wanted it to be really solid and very black, so I used the NYX Epic Ink Liner. To create a halo effect around the hollowed out cheekbones, I used the NYX Ombre Blush in Instaflame and Soft Flush. For some detailed eyeliner work, I grabbed the NYX Epic Ink Liner and then I alternated that with my detailed brush with some black water activated body paint, and I traced on my design. So for real, I probably did not breathe for a few minutes because you know, when you put on your eyeliner, it has to be precise, but no worries. If you make mistakes, just go over it with the Epic Ink Liner to smooth it out. Since my model's eyes were watering a bit, I decided to give her a break and proceed to the next part, which is the teeth. We've already mapped it out using the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light earlier, and so it's super easy. The shading and highlight is very similar to bones, only you would just imagine a light source. So for the front teeth, the highlight would be coming from the bottom up. When you reach the sides, it's going to be more to the sides and darker in the inner corner. So for the bottom teeth, it's going to be highlighted in the very tip and then darker as you go down. I really would have loved to spend more time on the teeth. It's a tutorial in itself, so you know, you can get very detailed and go crazy, but for our purposes right now, since this is not the main focus, we are moving on. For the mouth part, I kept it really simple, so the upper and lower widths of it will be in all black and then narrowing down as you reach the middle. So this will create the illusion of depth, that this part is actually deeper than the rest of it. So for the sides, I used the NYX SFX color creams in white and black mixed together to create a gray tone, but I thought it was a bit washed out. I probably put in more whites than black, so in the end I added more black NYX SFX color creams. No look is ever complete without lashes, and so to prep my model's lashes, I applied some NYX Badonkadonk mascara to make it nice and full and have support for the lashes that we used. And I stacked two. These are the NYX Wicked Lashes in WL19 and WL24. For the sides of the mouth, I wanted to create the illusion of gaping holes. So I just placed some black water activated body paint and then mixed it into a gradient into a tapered end, and we are done. Hey guys, I'm back. A lot sweatier than the intro. It's really hot right now. But anyway, you've stuck it out this far, my dude, so you deserve a high five. There you go. And I want to take this opportunity to send out a huge thank you to my sister, whose nickname is actually Bonesy. I'm not even kidding you guys. That's what we call her in real life. That's her name on my phone. So to Bonesy, thank you so much for modeling for me. She's modeled for me a bunch of times, but it's always a very tedious process every time. So thank you, Bones. And then of course to Wes, my main man, who's sitting right there. And this is really awkward because I don't like people watching me while I'm filming, but this needs to be done. So to Wes, thank you for the emotional and moral support and for doing the things that I physically cannot do, like paint and film myself in 3 different angles. So thank you, Beb. I could not have done this without you. To NYX Cosmetics and all of the other sponsors, thank you so much. It is a huge honor to be in this year's competition. And also to everyone that sent me their love and good vibes over on social media. You know, thank you. I've already said thanks to everyone, I think, but it makes my heart swell because I'm really a shy person in real life. So this is like way out of my comfort zone, guys. So anyway, before I ramble on and on, remember, you can vote. The voting link is down below. So if at this point you think that this submission is worthy to go into the next round, I would really truly appreciate your votes. I really need everyone's help. I'm a major underdog in this competition, if not the most underdog, if you know what I'm trying to say. And spread the love, and if you do vote for me, many thanks in advance. And, I'll see you in my next video, my dudes. Peace.